The Disneyland Resort is laying to rest two very significant restaurants. Walt Disney World is ushering back extra magic hours, although they're not necessarily calling it that. And is Frozen Ever After worth your Disney vacation time while at EPCOT? We're going to talk about that and so much more. Across the country, from coast to coast, we're bringing you all the Disney Parks news. It is the 3rd of July, 2021. Kingdom Report Live starts right now.
Hey, please. Welcome.
Happy 3rd of July, everybody. It is Kingdom Report Live time with a live look outside via the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam, where we see the sidewalk in front of the Howard Johnson, a place where they are promoting Avengers Campus, and certainly a location that you could go hang out at if you want to and be seen to a worldwide audience at the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam via their YouTube channel. We always appreciate using their feed. Sometimes we get great shots of the park. Other times we get their sidewalk in front of the hotel, so you never know. It's a mixed bag. Great to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen. I am Wade Heath, your hostess with the mostesses, here at the Warner Brothers Studio Media District in beautiful Burbank, California, just around the corner from the Walt Disney Studios, just up the road from the Disneyland Resort. And there is so many great stories to cover this week when it comes to Disney parks. But before we do that, as always, a reminder, you deserve to be rewarded if you are somebody that watches this live show. And we do that by presenting somebody each week with their very own Kingdom Report Live mug. This week, all you have to do to enter is leave a comment underneath this video on our YouTube channel, so it has to be at the Kingdom Report on YouTube. You leave the comment underneath this video, happily ever after. Happily ever after is the phrase that pays, so leave that comment just underneath this video. As soon as the live video posts, you'll be able to leave that comment just underneath the video, and you have until Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, in which we will go ahead and reach out to you if you are the winner. So between now, Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, but happily ever after in the comment section beneath this video, and you have entered yourself to potentially win your very own Kingdom Report mug. As always, no matter where you are listening, no matter where you are watching, we are so grateful to be part of your weekend. If you happen to be watching us either on Facebook Live or on YouTube, we do encourage you to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure the thumbs up party is in full effect. It lets everybody know that there is a soiree going on up in her, and we certainly want more people to join. So thumbs up definitely helps with that, so we encourage you to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already, and be sure to share the broadcast. If you know other Disney Parks fans out there, people that admire all things Disneyland and Walt Disney World, let everybody you know that appreciates something like that, let them know that we exist. Let them know that this channel's here for them, and then the party can grow in size. And speaking of that party growing in size, party guests have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Here once again with us this week to talk all things Disney Parks, Katrina Manzone and Tyler Crouch.
Whoop, whoop, party.
Whoop,
Whoop, whoop.
whoop.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Hello.
Bring your party favors?
I left mine in my car.
God dang it.
Yeah, they're in the car. Sorry.
Mother trucker.
Oh,
Oh, no.
I just successfully fought off a sneeze, though. I thought everybody would like to know.
Oh. Proud.
Just let it, I could have sneezed right on the microphone
You
and
nailed it.
ruined the whole intro.
Gross.
But I
Achoo.
fought it back. No worries. Everybody relax. It's all good.
It's that pungent Katrina perfume.
Sure.
No doubt. Yeah.
It's like
the
if you
tropical
had
scent.
if you had like the smell vision, it had like these like little squiggly lines coming out.
He's going to
Big
be
Ben style.
He's gonna
Yeah.
be coughing any second.
I know,
hacking.
probably.
Yeah.
My eyes will well up in water, and then I'll be like choking or something, and like keel over.
No
Who
time
knows?
for that.
Yeah,
No, we
no,
don't.
not
Not
this
on-
episode.
Not on a 4th of July weekend. Oh, no. In fact, there's so many stories we must touch on before anybody keels over and dies. In fact, I think it's time for Disneyland News. Disneyland News time, all of the West Coast Disney stories that you need to be aware of, things that are trending this week. And ladies and gentlemen, we start with unfortunate news. If you haven't heard already, 2 restaurants at the Disneyland Resort are closing permanently. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it, especially since we never really got a chance to say goodbye to these bad boys. But Steakhouse 55 at the Disneyland Hotel, PCH Grill at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel are closing after so many years of service, after so long of being a part of our lives. These 2 hotels are now saying goodbye to these classic restaurants. It's very strange to me to know that Steakhouse 55 as Disneyland Hotel reopens officially this weekend, that they are not coming back with Steakhouse. It's such a staple of the overall Disneyland hotel experience. And Orange County Register is mentioning that Disneyland is exploring new options for a pair of permanently shuttered hotel restaurants that fell victim to the coronavirus pandemic, including a decades-old upscale steakhouse steeped in Disney history. Steakhouse 55 at Disneyland Hotel and PCH Grill at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel have closed, and options are being considered for the locations, according to Disneyland officials. Goofy's Kitchen at the Disneyland Hotel is expected to return soon, although a reopening date has not yet been set. And Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar and Tangaroa Terrace at the Disneyland Hotel will reopen on Friday, July the 2nd, which has already occurred, so that's great news, with the hotel's coffee house returning on July the 10th. Disney's Anaheim theme parks, hotels, shops, and restaurants were all shuttered, obviously, due to COVID-19 and the pandemic back in March 2020. Disneyland is bringing back eateries at the parks and hotels in stages as part of a phased reopening. Napa Rose, Storytellers Cafe, Hearthstone Lounge, and the GCH Craftsman Bar and Grill have already reopened over at the Grand Californian Hotel. Disney has not announced when the Surfside Lounge, the fast casual restaurant over at the Grab and Go Sandbar, will reopen at the Paradise Pier Hotel. I know, Tyler and Katrina, this was a place that you 2 frequented. This was my go-to spot for breakfast, Steakhouse 55 that is. My go-to spot for breakfast at the Disneyland Hotel, one of the best kept secrets in all of the Disneyland Resort, and perhaps too secretive
That's
to leak
maybe the
this.
problem. Yeah.
Thoughts, feelings. I know it's still raw for you. These are 2 very special places to a lot of people.
Yeah, this was
Gutted.
this was definitely a special place for us. We had many dinners and breakfasts at Steakhouse 55, and we even did tea a couple times. And it was really not shocking to hear the news, because I've been hearing kind of rumblings about it, unfortunately. But and like you said, it you know, especially for breakfast, sometimes it wasn't that busy and stuff like that, so we would just get in walking right up a lot of times. So it's a huge bummer. We're super upset, but it's got to be, I don't know, I think they're either going to do a kind of like what they did with Citrico's, right, where they brought in like the Mary Poppins kind of atmosphere. They're either going to put some of their IP into a new restaurant and make an upscale thing, or they're going to extend Goofy's Kitchen, I feel like, which I hope they don't extend Goofy's Kitchen, and that's just maybe that's not going to happen. But in the back of my head, I'm like, well, what makes them a lot of money and is cheap for them, and Goofy's Kitchen is the answer to that. So hopefully that's not the case, but yeah, I don't know. How do you feel?
Got it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is probably the saddest news. I had really great memories. I mean, that was like one of our first dates that we'd go on. We started doing dinners, and then we started getting obsessed with like the bar seating, like over there. And because it was just easy walk up. You just walk up, go to the bar, sit down. We don't have to go inside. And then we were like obsessed with their like weekly risotto that they would like create. You know, they had like, it was just genius what they would do. And then
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but one time they had a pork jerky.
Yeah, it was weird.
Risotto, and we were like, that sounds really bizarre. And then we tried it, and we were like, oh no, this is awesome.
They did like a cream corn risotto and like some with like zucchini blossoms. It was like always it was always fun to go into, and they always had like great gluten-free flatbread and whatnot. And then we would start noticing the servers, and they would start noticing us, which was great. And then they brought breakfast, and we didn't really know about breakfast. And then when we would stay at the hotel, they're like, we didn't want room service, and so we're like, oh, let's just go figure out something. And then we like, fell on Steakhouse 55, and then we fell in love with it, and then we would go even sometimes we would just wake up in the morning being like, let's just go to Steakhouse this weekend for breakfast, and we would just drive out there and go to Steakhouse for breakfast and then just have a day at the parks. It was always fun, and then like the tea was always, it's just unique, to do, and everybody look forward to it. And it's surprising to me because the tea sold out so fast within like, what was it, the 90-day mark. It would open and it would be popular. Sold out, and it was like a bloodbath to get it. And I'm just shocked that they would close this establishment down. And it was always such a fun, people can disagree with me. This was honestly better than Napa Rose. I honestly felt like every time we would have somebody we would bring to Disneyland, we would always take them to Steakhouse 55 versus Napa Rose, because the atmosphere is so much more relaxed and the atmosphere is a lot darker. So it's just more romantic versus like really bright white light dinner at Napa Rose. And you're like, looks like a hotel.
It looks like it was born in the 90s. I don't know.
But I'm not here to bash Napa Rose.
Yeah,
but
Napa Rose is great. Don't get me wrong.
It's great food and stuff. But something with Steakhouse is just like, it's very like Brown Derby-esque. So like 1950s. You're just like, it's just dark. I love the pictures of everybody, of all the celebrities. And it was always my favorite. And then I always loved sitting at the Lucy table. Oh, it's just me. I love Lucy.
I feel like it goes to show you too that like, they're not worried about the legacy of Walt as much as they used to be anymore, because this whole restaurant to me was about Walt Disney and
his era
and like, even celebrating the Disneyland Hotel in a lot of ways, because this, 55, like that's when all this came around. And it just goes to show you that. And I believe for 1000% there's going to be some IP in there, whether it be Goofy or somebody else, but it's gonna happen. I
hope not. Like, okay, maybe they'll like if they do it relaxed, like Enchanted Rose or maybe Citrico's. I don't know. I haven't personally been there yet, so I don't know what that's gonna be like. But just little touches, not smack in your face IP. But I will say that with the prices Disneyland Hotel are selling right now, it does not deserve to be a 4-star hotel at the moment, because they took away one of the only establishments that would actually have a breakfast and a dinner. And honestly, I loved their coffee. It was delicious. If anybody's had Steakhouse coffee, you would always just keep drinking it and be wired on it all day, because it was just phenomenal. Yeah. It was so great. And it was just like a relaxing, it's not Goofy's Kitchen, it's like screaming in the morning, yelling, and you're like, oh, this is a lot for me. And then you would just like turn to the right and then just go to Steakhouse, and it was just like a relaxing atmosphere for breakfast and like for dinner. And I get it. Like if they have to tear it down to make more for Goofy's Kitchen, I get it. But they just need to open up more. Like I can't believe they're taking away PCH. Like that's insane. Like now there's no dining in that hotel. So I don't even know what the star ranking is on that hotel, but they need to bring something in fast. If they're putting like that, like the prices are $500 a room and there's no dining in that hotel yet.
Yeah, big discussion about what the future of the Paradise Pier Hotel is going to look like. And what the point of closing down the food and beverage options there outside of the Surfside Lounge, like to close that stuff up.
I mean, that was your place.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time there. I definitely did. And while I worked with the Disney company, I helped work at PCH Grill for a great deal of time in terms of, ensuring that Donald Duck Seaside Breakfast that we see here got up and running, and that the magic of Mickey's Surf's Up breakfast that was there for the longest time also was a big part of the experience. And yeah, I spent a lot of my professional career trying to make PCH Grill into something special. But
even like Thanksgiving, that was like
it's my go-to spot.
That was your thing.
Yeah, it was another hidden gem at the resort when it came to Thanksgiving dinner. They had just one hell of a buffet. Place was packed. I mean, it wasn't like, and nobody realized that they had an offering there on Thanksgiving. They always booked out, but it was one of the lesser known places. So you could usually get a reservation a little bit later than, say, all of the other popular destinations at the resort. So very sad to see places like Steakhouse 55 and PCH Grill be laid to rest. Hopefully better places, if that's possible, replace them. I'm really hoping that Disneyland Paris has a restaurant called Walt's that I would love to see come to replace Steakhouse 55. You know, we talk
That'd
about
be cool.
that idea of like, okay, you know, perhaps they're ignoring the legacy of Walt Disney. We don't know what's going to replace it, so we should wait.
Right. No, you're right. But I still just believe with everything that's going on, it's like
it'll probably be something
IP has to be
character-based.
it, right? I mean, I don't. Yeah, and like Katrina said, it doesn't even have to be like in your face. It could be like what is it called? Remy's on the ship.
Oh yeah.
It could be like Remy's, which has just very little Ratatouille kind of
Just like
inspiration.
one thing. There's like a glass rat on the top of
Yeah,
the ceiling,
really,
and
yeah.
that's it.
Gentle touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time will tell. You're right. I'm just.
But like
I'm just
Enchanted Rose is
guessing.
just the small things, like the fabric chairs. You're like, oh well, that fabric, that is actually what the Beast wore, the blue suit. You know, there's a yellow chair, and you're like, that's probably Belle's dress. And then there's just like little touches here and there where you do. It's not like a, you know, oh my gosh, look, there is the character's face on a chair. You know, it was just subtle things that you have to like sit, and every time you come in, it's different because you would sit in a different room and you notice more just like little things. You just notice little touches here and there, which I like it.
I'm guessing with Paradise Pier too, they're gonna just retheme the whole entire
Pixar?
hotel.
I mean,
So,
it's probably
we'll
gonna
see.
go to Pixar, honestly,
You could be right.
and then do like a Pixar breakfast meet and greet. I
And
mean,
let's not forget that you know, forward expansion that the Disneyland
That's
Hotel
right.
has been, or the Disneyland Resort has been talking about. What with the concept art, there is an expansion area that goes that direction and it surrounds that hotel. So perhaps that can be a part of the future. We will see. We laid to rest Steakhouse 55 and PCH Grill.
all right.
Sadly, never getting to say goodbye officially.
Yeah.
So very, very hard to hear that. Moving along here to some happier news. Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is on both coasts here in North America, both at Magic Kingdom out in Walt Disney World and here at Disney California Adventure at the Disneyland Resort. Well, that show, been around a little while. It is going to have a brand new scene added to it from Coco. NBC4 Los Angeles says that the spirited spirit of coming togetherness, whether you're gathering with family members and or old friends, is ever present in the 2017 animated feature Coco. The same heartfelt coming togetherness is about to shine brightly in Hollywoodland at California Adventure, thanks to a brand new song debuting in Mickey's PhilharMagic. The 3D fantasy adventure is known for its vibrant music and colorful animated interludes, but the energetic experience is about to take a fresh twist beginning on July 17th, 2021. So Disneyland's birthday, to be exact. Make that a very fresh twist. It marks the first time Disney and Pixar animators have worked on a creative endeavor where characters from both animation studios will be seen together on screen. And if you guessed Donald Duck would gamely put himself in the middle of the whimsical world of Coco, you'd be correct. Really terrific news to hear that both Mickey's PhilharMagic in Florida and Mickey's PhilharMagic here on the West Coast in Anaheim are getting these upgrades. Sounds like we're getting it here on the West Coast, as mentioned, July 17th, and then closer to the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom later this year, more closer to October. They will be updating their version of Mickey's PhilharMagic. This is one of my favorite shows. When I would visit Walt Disney World before it came to California Adventure, this was one of the first attractions I would go on. So a lot of people like, you know, the big thrill rides and stuff like that. Mickey's PhilharMagic always felt special to me because it was the only thing in Magic Kingdom, you know, that we necessarily didn't have, you know, out west. And so I would run to it all the time and enjoy, because it kind of got me in the right frame of mind for the park. It touches on some of the greatest attractions, greatest movies, I should say, animated films, and you go through it with Donald in search for Mickey's sorcerer hat. So it's a tremendous, especially musically scored experience, one that I absolutely love. When it came to California Adventure, while it certainly does not have the same amount of trinkets and doodads that the Magic Kingdom one does, it is very nice to have it here, and I can still go get my fix whenever I need it. Pretty cool to hear that it's getting an upgrade.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think, and then we get it first too. Oh my god!
How about that?
It's crazy, and I'm excited that they're doing like Coco, because that is honestly like a very beautiful, vibrant movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm stoked because I'm curious how they're gonna do it. You know, that's what makes me excited to see it.
Beautiful.
Like how they're gonna
bet.
lead into
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean? And
Well,
then
yeah.
it's 3D too.
I'm curious if it's going to be like a really stark contrast of like oh, here's like what did they make this show in like the early 2000s or something? But it's going to be like, oh, here's some early 2000s animation and some 2021 animation. Well, we're going to have to see how it comes together, but it's great news all around. I think it's fantastic, and I'm excited for it. I love that show just like you, Wade, and any new reason to go back, I think it's genius to add things to it and see it again. I'm now excited to go see it again, and let's not forget the MVP, Donald Duck's butt.
Oh yeah.
So I'm super stoked to see that.
Shake
once
your tail
again.
feather.
And yeah, you know.
Shake your tail feather.
I love how everybody was like, hey guys, you should put Coco in EPCOT, they're Mexico, and they're like, how about Mickey's PhilharMagic? That's cheaper.
Yeah, we'll infuse it there. No big deal. Yeah, really cool to see that this is coming to both coasts, and likely they are going to have to re-render the entire video and update the visual itself for the sake of Magic Kingdom. It's very strange going and seeing it in Magic Kingdom versus seeing it at California Adventure. I joke in Magic Kingdom it's like watching it with glaucoma. Because of just how fuzzy and overplayed the shots are, and the animation is, it's just on a loop basically for that attraction. Then you come to California Adventure where it's fresh and new and having just been put into place here not too long ago, and it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what it should be out at Magic Kingdom. So hopefully we'll see the re-rendering of the attraction itself, and the visuals will become that much more spectacular when Coco joins it later this year. Deadline Hollywood is reporting that single rider access is back at the Disneyland Resort. The single rider option is said to be available for select attractions at Disneyland, including Space Mountain, Indiana Jones Adventure, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, Star Tours, and Splash Mountain. It's also reportedly now an option for those looking to board rides at California Adventure, including Radiator Springs Racers, the Incredicoaster, and Grizzly River Run. The reintroduction of single rider lines comes as health and safety protocols have eased at Disney's Anaheim parks, particularly following California's June 15th reopening. Prior to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, single rider lines had long been sought out by visitors as a way of getting on rides quicker. The only downside for those choosing to step in these lines is, of course, they are less likely to find themselves seated near other people that might be in their party. Have you guys ever done a single rider?
Oh yeah,
one? Yeah,
all the time. Yeah, I mean that's like the coolest thing. If you go on Radiator Springs Racers to do single rider, because then you can like possibly compete with one another, which I always loved. And then I don't really need to sit next to him during the ride because I'm not gonna.
That's for sure.
Because I'm like, you're not like you don't talk on the ride. You enjoy the ride, right? So like there's some rides where I don't mind sitting like in front of him or behind or whatever, as long as we're able to get on and then maybe try to compete with one another, and then that's always fun. But I always loved single rider, and I'm excited to do it. Like even like Matterhorn, we'd always do single rider on the Matterhorn if we're able to. Yeah. Because the lines are so short, because not a lot of people really know about it. So that's always fun.
It's a nice little sneaky.
Oh yeah, I especially without fast passes right now, it's like gonna be, and maybe the single riders will actually be longer because of no fast passes. We'll see, but yeah, this is something that I'm excited to come back, and now that I'm fully vaccinated and ready to go, I'm totally fine with sitting next to somebody at this point, and I'm excited for it. I mean, Radiator Springs Racers gets up to 100 minutes a lot of days and stuff like.
I mean, if you can wait 20 minutes in a single rider line, it's going to be a lot better than 100 minutes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, single rider has saved me an awful lot of time on some of my favorite rides, and absolutely love being able to jump on at a moment's notice and enjoy myself a little bit of Space Mountain or a little bit of Indiana Jones, and doing my best to just get the thrill out. I don't need to be with my party; it's fine. Do it myself.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all I need. Well, my friends, you let us know when it comes to what will replace Steakhouse 55 at the Disneyland Hotel and PCH Grill at the Paradise Pier Hotel. What do you think is going to replace it? What do you think is coming to those spaces? If you had to measure a guess, what comes to mind? Leave it in our comment section. We would love to hear from you. All right, my friends, you stick around. There's a lot more Kingdom Report Live and Walt Disney World news after the break.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
It's Gared on the go time. Walt Disney World reporter Gared Hassel is standing by for us somewhere in Walt Disney World. We go to him now to say, where you at?
I am in the enchanting pavilion of Norway here at EPCOT, and it's a little overcast today, but it's sort of matching to what actual Norway would be like. I imagine it being, kind of overcast because you got the Atlantic Ocean, you got the fjords, so it's quite mystical, but people are in good spirits because, well, they're at Disney World, the most magical place on earth.
Naturally. And speaking of magical, speaking of comfort and being at peace with yourself, tell me, Gared, what would you say is your greatest fear?
His hair getting messed up.
Yeah, my hair getting messed up. It takes like 3 hours to do this. I have great many fears. So I don't know. Why do you ask, Mr. Heath?
The reason I ask is because there's a special photo I'd like to display here that showcases exactly what your greatest fear is.
Oh no!
And that would be, it looks like
Oh,
it looks like being on board Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Tyler Crouch, we're around Tyler Crouch here today. He jumped out to Walt Disney World last month, and you joined him on that attraction. And it looked to me like you have no greater fear. You look like you're in physical pain in that ride. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's about right. So the one attraction I despise at Disney more than anything is Expedition Everest, just because when you go backwards, it induces G-forces on your stomach, and it just like knocks the wind out of me, or just makes me feel sick. And then it's like, then it shoots you forward, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. Like, the initial rise is the fun part. Then at the end, it's like, okay, 20 more seconds, then we're done. So yeah, I was like, oh, this hurts. Like, let this be over. And Tyler, he's having a grand old time right there.
He is such a trooper, though. Like, I always bow out. I'm like, peace, no thank you. And then here's Gared being like, I hate it, but I'll go. And I'm like, God bless you, man. You're a trooper.
We are proud of you.
After that experience, Tyler and our other friends were like, you guys want to go on it again? I'm like, I'm out. I'm going to hang by the bags. You guys go again. And I could not do it's a one-time thing.
And you did it. And we have a great picture forever.
Expedition Everest, you mean creature of imagination and wonder. Maybe if the Yeti starts working again, then I'll go on it more often. But until then, one and done per month.
So if anybody sees him, invite him to go on this ride.
Yep.
And then he'll go.
He will.
I will not turn down any requests. If any viewer out there
you hear it there,
me and like, let's go on Everest, I will go and I will vlog the entire painful experience too.
That's right.
You hear it there first.
And everybody will have a magical picture of Gared.
Yep, in pain.
Yes.
Looking like he's ready to keel
over. All right,
over.
people. So if you see him, invite him to go.
Yep, with his eyes shut. He just can't handle it. Tyler's having a great time.
I am having a great time. Look at me go.
He's loving himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Instagram, everyone.
Well, thank you as always, Gared, for being a good sport. Hey, it has come to our attention that extra magic hours, which kind of disappeared as the pandemic took over and obviously hotels and Walt Disney World shut down, sounds like a form of this is coming back. What should we know?
That is true indeed. So, like you see, Disney announced extended evening hours for deluxe resorts. Now, what is this exactly? Well, in the past, they had extra magic hours, which is if you were staying at a Disney resort, you could maybe come a few hours before the official park opening or stay a little bit after the official park opening. Well, with this, if you were staying at a deluxe or a deluxe villa resort, you can enjoy these extra evening hours on select nights in select parks, meaning say the park ends at 9, you might be able to stay there until midnight, maybe even longer, who knows. Disney has not announced any official dates and parks just yet, so keep on an eye on the horizon. But it's supposed to start in October, just in time for the 50th anniversary. And if you did not know, you do need a park pass and reservation to do this. You can't just be like, yo, I'm staying at Beach Club. It doesn't work like that, as amazing as that would be. So check that out. The deluxe resorts, if you did not know, are Disney's Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, Polynesian Village, Wilderness Lodge, Yacht and Beach Club, Boardwalk, and the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Those are the ones that apply for this. So if you're staying at, say, a Valley Resort like Art of Animation or Pop Century, I'm sorry that you will not be able to experience this, as this is the extended evening hours for deluxe resorts. So deluxe is the key term in there. I imagine as time goes on, they might allow for other resorts, but for right now, deluxe have a higher price tag on them. So be wary. So the ability to spend more time in the parks might be worth the extra price tag, but that is up to my lovely friends out there.
Yeah, it looks like there's discussion here of, some resorts having the ability to visit early in the morning, so having some early morning magic hours, and then the deluxe resorts having the reserved evening magic hours. So that's something I think that's very interesting here. Nice to see that this extra time is coming back.
I think it's worth it for how much they pay. I feel like they should have a chance to kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think that, I know people are having a heck of a time with monorails over by the for the Magic Kingdom area. And they're always wondering, like, why am I paying so much if I still have to, walk to an area or whatever? And just giving them an extra, hour or so, I think means so much to them, Yeah, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with an extra couple hours and stuff, and then enjoy it. And especially, it's a lot cooler at night. Sometimes, sometimes, sometimes it never changes. But
I would rather have it at night.
Yeah,
for sure.
Not having the sizzling sun, baking you no matter what. Yeah,
early in the morning, because I'm not a morning person, so I'm not the only time I really woke up to do park opening day was Rise of the Resistance. That was
right.
We got there at 4 a.m. I'm like, let's do this thing. So I would prefer it on the back end than the front.
And we're from the West Coast too, so it's 3 hours
okay.
ahead over there. So if they're gonna be like, "Hey, the extra magic hour started at 7," I'm gonna be like, "Well, I'm not gonna be there."
We sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. So I would rather do evenings. I think it's really cool they're bringing this stuff back because God knows they need to have these perks when you're paying so much money for these hotels. So makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad they're not just sweeping it away, pretending like it never existed. Oh, what are you extra what's? What are you talking about?
Right.
But it's really good to see it coming back, and hopefully just more and more perks keep coming.
Couldn't agree more. It's going to be nice to have a little extra time in the parks if I'm paying the big bucks to stay at Walt Disney World. And speaking of the world of Disney out there, I know that a lot of racers, a lot of people that love Run Disney, they have something to celebrate. Correct, Mr. Gared?
That is true indeed. Everyone get to stretching because Run Disney is coming back. During the year of 2020 and 2021, the Run Disney events were canceled and turned into a virtual experience. But it looks like this fall, we've got the Run Disney events coming back again, and it's going to be exciting. The 2021 to 2022 season will include 4 race weekends, beginning with Disney's Wine and Design Half Marathon, which comes November 4th through the 7th. This is going to be themed to the Disney villains, and we'll have, of course, the 5K, the 10K, the half, and then an option for you to do the 10K and the half if you really just want to destroy your legs in a matter of a few hours. In addition to that, EPCOT being so big, we'll be hosting the post-race party. This is where all the racers together can, hang out, enjoy some lovely festivities, and just say, hey, you did a race with Disney, let's celebrate and party on. The other weekends that are coming up are, if you want to do the Big Daddy, you want to do the biggest fat one, the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend is January 5th through the 9th, and it is going to be themed to the 50th anniversary, which of course comes this year in October. It's going to be going for 18 months long. Then we got the Princess Half Marathon, February 24th through the 27th, and that is themed to courage and kindness. Aww. So if you're courage and kind and you're like Cinderella, boom, this is the event for you. If you're Maleficent, don't come. And then finally, the 4th one it's a brand new marathon. It's called the new Springtime Surprise, and that is March 31st through April 3rd, which will have a new theme and races each year. So that one's sort of up in the air, brand new one. Usually you would have one in the summertime or maybe late spring, which would be to Star Wars, but Springtime Surprise. I'm looking forward to it. So come on out. But Disney's also said to expect new elements to come up for these races, as given specifics as to what those are. And also, there will be a virtual component for all Disney racing fans around the world. So you can race at home, like whether you're in Paris, France, or you are, all the way in Shanghai, China, and you want to run, they'll send you the medal virtually. You just have to be honest. Don't sit on the couch like I would and be like, I ran 21.2 miles. 21. We don't know how long a mile is here in America, or how long a marathon is, but we're not going to address that. But right. In addition to that, there will be a Run Disney Kids, which is going to be Run Disney Kids Adventures with a Princess Weekend. And then also the Princess Weekend will have a instructor-led sunrise yoga session at Magic Kingdom. So namaste to all of you out there. For more information, look at rundisney.com. Registration is not open yet, but stay tuned because it's going to be coming. And I promise, I think I want to do a Disney race and, vlog the experience just to see
live
if
stream
I
it
can,
the whole time.
if I want to accomplish it. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll get you running. Absolutely. Yeah, I know that these Run Disney events are such huge hits, both coasts. I mean, every time Disneyland has done it also, it's like printing money for the Disney company. I mean, just to be a part of these races, a lot of people do them specifically to, get that special time with the characters. And, these runs themselves, the courses are really special. And a lot of times they get to go through those backstage areas. They get to go through spaces and places that they wouldn't normally get to go, during any other sort of marathon, which I think is one of the high points.
I loved it. I mean, that was like another time I would wake up super early in the mornings to do the Run Disney races. I always thought it was really fun to eat, like what you said, to go behind the scenes and go backstage and actually do it. That was always fun. Like I remember going by and they just brought the pumpkin in and they were cleaning it backstage and everything. And I was like, this is insane. And then like the next day, the pumpkin magically appeared in Disneyland.
And it was out.
And it was there. And then there was a time where we were running by and you see this like side and you would just see the spires from the 60th anniversary like cast it off to the side. And I was like, this is insane. And then them getting ready for the boats and stuff. It's always fun. Like Run Disney, it's like a weird high that you get when you're like running and stuff, and then you get to see characters, and it's just like a special event that you don't really think about. And then we'd go to Steakhouse 55 and have breakfast. Now we can't do that anymore.
Ooh, ouch. Ooh.
I know, yeah. That was definitely part of
our carbo load
our
after
mission,
the race.
Yeah. I was like, I need Eggs Benedict now.
Oh,
that's what's
sad
happening.
day. I'm excited to see it back. I mean, when they made this announcement, I've never done Disney World yet. I've always wanted to do it.
Well, because Disney running in Florida sounds like the worst thing I could possibly imagine.
January, February maybe would be possible, but not like March or
those winter
September
months
or
definitely seem much more doable.
Yeah, no thank you. Maybe I want to do the Princess Run. I want to do the Chateau to like I wanted to like get all the medals, and that's not going to happen. But one day I'll do it.
And Tyler,
Gared and I'll do it together.
Yeah, I will wholeheartedly do it. I'm a swimmer at heart, so I would rather. Well, I wouldn't swim a mile because that's really long, but I'd rather swim for a prolonged time than run. But
sure,
Katrina, you come out here, I will dress up like a princess if you want. You can dress me up. Ariel will be completely fine because she'll probably get a lot of amusement out of that, and I will run with you as I pass out at mile half mile.
At half mile.
Mile half mark.
Mile half.
Yeah,
like it.
Well, you'll need a lot of food in which to refuel after that run. Speaking of food and dining at the Walt Disney World Resort, something that went missing as the pandemic took over and has not returned has been that Disney dining plan, buddy. It sounds like there's a hint of its return soon.
Yes, indeed. The Disney dining plan will slowly be returning. Disney hasn't stated exactly when, but it is coming up in the future. And if you don't know what this is where if you were coming out here for a prolonged amount of time and you're staying at a Disney resort, you pay X amount of dollars for the dining plan. And in it, it can say for each day you get, 2 quick service meal options. You then can get 2 snacks and then a refillable mug for your resort. But there's different dining plans throughout this. This was suspended in March 2020 and is yet to come back. But it is a major, chunk of change that Disney can get from guests, especially if you are staying at, say, a place like Art of Animation. You don't have a kitchen in there. So all your dining is going either out to a Disney resort or you have to find stuff to make in your villa with a microwave. So it's very limited. So it's great for families, especially if you're on a tight budget. You can save a lot of money if you utilize all the perks of this. And it's looking to be very exciting. There's 3 different ones that look like they may be coming back. You've got the Disney dining plan, which comes at around $78 for ages 10 and up. Then you've got the Disney or the dining plan plus, which is $94. And then you have the deluxe dining plan, which is $119. And you can see what each of these have when Disney brings them back, but it can be everything from quick service and beverage to say over in China Pavilion to, you know, having a sit down at Be Our Guest. So you never really know what's going to be. So check out that when it does come back. This can only be used if you are staying at Disney World at a resort on property. So if you're staying off property or an Airbnb, you will not be able to use this. That's according to what they've had in the past. But who knows, 2021 is a unique year, but the dining plan's coming back. I've got to utilize this before, and it's quite nice, especially that refillable mug. If you have a resort day, you can just fill that up with soda all day long, chill by the pool, and you're good. And then you get your Mickey bar as your free snack. Because you may have noticed in the past, cast member would say, "Are you part of the Disney dining plan?" And some people are like, "What's that?" So now they might be coming back. We don't know when, but keep an eye on their horizon. That's going to be the key phrase for today. Keep an eye on their horizon.
Definitely so. Yeah, this is something that Disney has just recently acknowledged as, yes, it will return. It will be coming back. They have not, as Gared mentioned there, designated a specific date as to when it's going to return. But lots of questions surrounding whether or not it's going to be making its way back anytime soon is certainly something we continue to hear. It's something that a lot of families find value in, especially with the idea that, you know, you can purchase this ahead of time and then you don't necessarily have to think all that much when you get to Disney World and you start doing your restaurant thing. You can virtually order anything on the menu in certain cases based on the dining plan that you have. You don't have to worry about the price. You don't have to worry about what it's going to set you back. You don't have to budget because you can do it all ahead of time. There are also people in the other camp that feel like, oh, it's kind of a waste of money. I don't eat that much food, so why am I going to spend $100+ a day on something that really I'm going to walk away and leave so much on a plate? So why am I going to spend that money? So there's people in both camps, but I know a lot of families find great value in it. It's something that I have done before on several occasions, and yeah, I can pack it away with the best of them. Even I find that the Disney dining plan offers you too much food, too many snacks, too many things to walk away with, which is a great problem to have. It's a great value in that regard. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be lugging home food.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah. I get that it's for families and a lot of people love it, but for me and Katrina, it's like it would be a waste for us because, I mean, you know, we'll do maybe like a quick service for lunch or something, and then we'll do a dinner, but it just doesn't, to us, the value, the money value doesn't compute. We can't eat enough food. Like Wade was just saying, it's just too much for us. And I've told the story before, but I even had just a random guy come up to me and ask me if I wanted a pretzel because he was like, dude, and he looked like a zombie. He's like, I can't eat anymore. Do you want a pretzel? I'm like, I'll take your pretzel, sure.
That is a $50 value.
Yeah, really. So I don't know. For me, you know, especially when like the bottom tier was around $80, like Gared just said, I actually think that I will spend either more money if I go to a more upscale place that, you know, but if I'm going to an upscale place, they're not going to support the Disney dining necessarily. And then, or it'll just be like, I'm spending more money than I'm even going to eat. So it just doesn't make sense for me, but I get that families love it. I'm happy it's coming back. 'Cause like the more, anytime they can offer more is a good thing. So keep it coming, Disney. Just keep on doing it.
It's a great promotion too. Like when Disney does, I mean, those are huge for people like in like travel industry. It's like when Disney announces, usually around like October, you know, September, for that Disney dining plan on your vacation package.
Yeah,
people jump to it because
they call it free dining, but
it's not. You know, it's not really.
But
it's
people
not.
go crazy.
But
for
people
it,
go
right?
crazy for it because again, it's like one less thing to deal with. You know, again, if you have a family of 4 and you're all dealing with that, you know. It's just easier. If your kid is hungry and they just want a snack, you don't have to like forfeit $7 for a pretzel and then have them eat 2 bites of it and then throw it away. And you're like, great, like that's a waste of money. But if you have the dining plan, you're just like, eat a half pretzel. I don't care. You have like another food coming up in like an hour, so just we'll deal with it. You know.
And let me put it this way too: they would not be offering this if they weren't making tons of money off of it. So they know that a lot of people don't get their snacks and a lot of people don't eat all the food. So it just keep that in mind, because I think a lot of people go with, thinking like, oh, I'm going to eat everything while I'm there. But
Like
you
by
can't.
day 3,
You
you're
can't
like,
do
my
it.
stretchy pants aren't stretchy
done.
anymore.
and it takes away from, if you're going to feel like you have to go and eat lunch somewhere or whatever, it could take away from your attraction time. So just keep those things in mind.
You end up spending a
Yeah.
lot of time planning around your meals rather than planning around the rest of the Disney World experience. And so it's far less about rides and stuff, because now you're locked into all kinds of reservations for dining. So all the things to consider. Again, we have now heard Walt Disney World come out and say, yes, it is returning. They just haven't listed a date. So a lot of questions about whether or not it was going to come back, or maybe it was going to be modified. As of right now, it says, hey, yeah, we're bringing it back. They just aren't ready to release a timeline yet. Mr. Gared Hassel, thank you so much for bringing us the headlines from Norway and EPCOT. We always appreciate your cultural contribution.
Happy to oblige and to contribute. Thinking about heading into the Wandering Reindeer and looking for good old Sven. He's such a good boy. He's such a good reindeer with his carrots, and when Kristoff talks for him. But yeah, Norway is one of my favorite pavilions. It's just a very relaxing area. I feel like France is very hustle and bustle. Norway, you just go like the fjords and just, you just sit there and chill.
Place to chill, no pun intended. That's right.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
just
we
gotta let it
appreciate
go.
it, buddy. Thank you for bringing us the headlines this week. And my friends, I think it's time for a little do it or ditch it. Let's go. Do it or ditch it time. This is where we take a little bit of a look at whether or not an attraction at Walt Disney World or Disneyland is worth doing or ditching. Today, it is all about Walt Disney World, and more specifically, it's all about Frozen Ever After at EPCOT in the Norway Pavilion. Perhaps you've heard of this ride. It's one that prior to the pandemic, people were racing to get to. People were running from the moment the rope dropped at the front of the park just to get in line for, just to get a fast pass for. This is an attraction that replaced Maelstrom, which for many years was a big part of the Walt Disney World Norway experience. We reached out to you and asked, hey, how do you feel when it comes to Frozen Ever After at EPCOT? Is it worth your vacation time? Here's what you said in our Instagram poll. You said 60% it's a must-do. 40% said not really. I gotta admit, I'm kind of surprised by those numbers. I was really kind of stunned, and we saw something very similar in our Twitter poll as well. It almost aligns with what we see on the Instagram poll. We oftentimes wonder, who do we have on either accounts, because not everybody is on both accounts, and certainly the Twitter number is smaller than the Instagram number and all of that, so it kind of pans out, but they sort of match up. So 60% say it's a must-do, 40% say not really. Katrina, is this a do it or a ditch it for you?
Do it.
Oh,
It's a do it. Yeah, I like it. I've never rode Maelstrom. I was sad my first time going. We were about a couple days after they shut it down. That was my first time going, and I was really devastated. So I don't know. I can't judge it. I can't compare, but I do love it. I think that it's really unique, especially, and that was one of those IP rides. And now if they did another one, I'd be like, oh my God, stop. But, but it's
You
fun
mean like Ratatouille?
Yeah, right.
Just like that.
Just like that. Oh my God, stop. But I'm just saying that it's great. The queue's great. I love it. We've never really waited in the queue that often, because we were always lucky to get fast passes. With that whole 3 fast pass thing at Epcot.
Right.
What are you gonna choose? You would choose either Test Track or Frozen, and we would try to choose Frozen because we would do single rider for Test Track a lot. So and they don't have a single rider for Frozen, so it's a bummer. So that was our fast pass. But I loved what is that guy in the window? He goes, yoo-hoo!
Wandering Oaken?
Yeah, Wandering
Yes.
Oaken. Oh my gosh. So I love it. I think it's really cute. I like when you go backwards. That is the only ride I'm able to go backwards without freaking out like Gared. I rode Everest once, and that was my only time. I rode backwards. We went forwards. I cried. The still shot of Tyler still had it. My face is blank.
Oh.
And then it was complete horror. I don't scream on rides. I'm silent.
Oh.
And that's when it's bad.
That's how, I'm going to say.
And then
she's
I got
near
off
death.
it. I just started crying. I was like, I can't go backwards and then forwards. But I do like Frozen. I think it's really fun when you go backwards, and then Elsa's there and she's singing to you, and you just keep going backwards. And I think it's just so epic. and it's just really awesome, and it actually makes you really enjoy it. And then I love Olaf, and he's like singing and dancing on the ice, and he's just like, I don't know the words of the song, and it's really cute. But yeah, I do it. It's great.
A total do it for you. Very good. Well, let's jump out to Walt Disney World, where our Florida reporter Gared Hassel standing by in front of Frozen Ever After, and you'll see just how busy it always is, no matter what time of day you walk by that attraction. Gared, is it a do it or a ditch it for you?
It is definitely a do it. I think that this ride is whimsical. It's fun. It's good for everyone, whether you're an adult or someone who just saw Frozen for the first time and has then subsequently watched it 100 times after that because it was that magical. I love it. I never got to experience Maelstrom, unfortunately, but this attraction, it just gives you that feel good feeling. It has some cool effects, especially my favorite one is at the end with Marshmallow. If you don't know who Marshmallow is, he's the giant abominable snowman. He says let it go, and then he breathes his mouth on you. He does like a shower of spit.
Let it go.
That's not how it works.
I love it when people
but
breathe
it's
their
fun,
mouth on
and
me.
the snow geese are hanging around. But this is just a fun attraction, and Epcot doesn't have a whole lot of attractions, so this is something you definitely got to do to get the most out of your day. And the land here is just so enchanting, and of course you end in a gift shop, but I think it's actually one of the best gift shops because it smells so dang good. It smells like, I guess, what Norway would smell like. But yeah, you definitely got to do Frozen Ever After. The line right now is only 45 minutes despite it being a little busy. But yeah, come out here, do it, friends. And if you ever did go on Maelstrom, let us know, because I never got to experience it, but I hear it was
You too,
quite
huh?
a fun time. Yeah,
Wow.
I got out here for my college program, I think, a few months after they shut it down for the transition period. So I was really bummed out about that. But c'est la vie, or I don't know how to say it is life in Norwegian. But yeah, Frozen Ever After is quite a fun attraction, and it was designed very well by the Imagineers. I must commend them on that.
Yeah, I got to admit, for the space that they had to create this attraction dedicated to the highest grossing animated film of all time, it's kind of amazing that they were able to shoehorn in so much in terms of storytelling and in terms of effects and stuff like that. It is a spectacular dark ride, to be certain. 5-hour wait is what was quoted as the opening day wait for the attraction, and yes, it did open up in June of 2016 to be specific. Certainly something that continues to command crowds, as we saw behind Gared there. Tyler, when it comes to this ride at Epcot, there's a lot to do in a place like Epcot. Do you make it a do it or a ditch it?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to go on Maelstrom, and although I just really greatly missed that ride because it was really weird and
Most bizarre
yeah,
attraction.
yeah, it really was kind of bizarre
But
because
it had like a cult feel to it. You know, it was like you felt proud being on it for some reason.
Yeah, no,
It was very odd.
It felt really cool being on that ride because it was just unlike any other Disney ride because it was scary. There were like these creepy trolls that would come out of the water and everything, and
Polar bears running amok.
yeah, and then at the end there was an oil derrick. Okay, but you know, and one of the coolest things too was when you used to go backwards, the boat, you could actually see the boat coming out from there's a waterfall there at the front. You can kind of barely see it where Gared is, but
yeah, there used to be an opening there.
But there used to be an
alongside
opening, yeah, where the boat would be coming. Anyway, enough about Maelstrom. I miss it, but I would say 100%.
Yeah, right to the side of Gared. Yeah, that waterfall, that used to be a big opening, and you could see that boat back up and then change direction. You're right.
Yeah, so I miss that little cool aspect. But all that being said, Frozen is 100% a do it. I can't imagine going to Epcot, and even though there's a long line a lot of the time, like Katrina said, we usually get lucky with our fast passes. But it's one of those rides that not only, so I have a couple reasons why I think it's awesome. The number one is the technology. I mean, it is one of the most technologically advanced rides that Disney has made in these domestic parks, if you will. I mean, the animatronics themselves are just so cool to look at, and every time I go by, they put a big smile on my face, and it's just so darn cute. I mean, I can't, I like, even me who was at my limit of like, okay, I've heard the Let It Go song too many times now. Like now it still gives me kind of goosebumps when, you know, Elsa is standing there and her arms are going wacky like crazy. And she, right when she says let it go, the boat starts going backwards. And you can see it on screen now. As you're going backwards, she's creating the whole ice castle all around you. And it's just such a cool idea. Like, whoever came up with the idea of, like, let's have the ice castle being built right in front of your eyes, it's really neat. And if you look back at the movie, it really resonates with that. It looks pretty much exactly the same in a lot of ways. And it's just so cute. And it's kind of like greatest hits of Frozen, right? It's like, oh, there's a vague story to it, but really it's just like, let's just sing the songs from Frozen. And
then you have their spring outfits at the end.
Yeah, and the spring outfits and Olaf like tap dancing, and it's just so darn cute, like I said already. So I just can't imagine going to Epcot and not experiencing this ride. And if you've never done it before, you have to do it. It's short, but it's sweet. So 100% go do it.
Very good. Yeah, make it a priority on your Walt Disney World trip, and certainly something that I say definitely worth doing. It's a great, captivating ride, one that hits you with almost all the senses, and you walk away from it feeling good. And I didn't always walk away from Maelstrom feeling good. Sometimes I felt indifferent because I didn't know what I was experiencing and I didn't know what was happening.
Especially if they made you stay for the movie at the end. You're like, oh no.
Yes, yeah, the 1970s Norway. That's right. Yeah, you got to see a film about it. At any rate, for something that replaced something that was very much directly linked to we'll say stereotypes in their Norwegian culture,
sure.
Because that's kind of what Maelstrom was. For something to replace it, you have it be a level up in regards to what Disney can do. This, in so many different ways, leveled up in terms of technology, in terms of music, in terms of overall ride feeling. So definitely something to add to your do-it list. It sounds like a unanimous do-it across the board when it comes to Frozen Ever After at Epcot. All right, my friends, more Kingdom Report Live for you next.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Kingdom Team All Call time. This is where we take your questions and provide you with the best possible answer we can muster. And you can leave yourself a little question over at KingdomReportLive.com. You can fill out the form there, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And some questions might even show up right here on the show. This week, our friend Cassie Johns has asked the following, saying, how long do you think Disneyland and Disney World will keep the afternoon park hopping rule in place, and will park reservations ever go away? As of right now, I believe it's 2 p.m. in Walt Disney World where you can park hop from one park to another. That's their time threshold. And then over here in Disneyland, it's 1 p.m. So you do have that opportunity to jump from one park to another after a certain time frame. I think this question really does sort of align with the idea that we're now moving out of all of the pandemic restrictions and all the reasons why they had these sorts of situations sort of governed, if you will, and why these rules exist to begin with. So I think that's why this question is being posed. When will park hopping and the time frame be washed away, and will park reservations ever go away? We will begin in Walt Disney World with our Florida reporter, Mr. Gared Hassel, standing by for us at Epcot with his take on the matter, especially somebody that jumps around, does a lot of park hopping himself. Say that 3 times fast.
I'm not gonna try.
Don't you do it?
Fast. But for me, I could see the whole park hopping rules staying maybe a little bit longer, or maybe them revising it a little bit, because at Disneyland you can literally go back and forth between parks in 5 minutes, while here it could be a bus ride, monorail trip, or Skyliner trip. So I could see them moving it back to maybe noon, right now Disney uses it as a way of sort of being able to control crowds, especially for events like Happily Ever After and Epcot Forever, where you've got a massive surge of people, and they use it especially at Hollywood Studios because you get there at 2, the second option or the second time to get a boarding group for Rise of Resistance comes at 1 o'clock, so you can't park hop over there. So if they were to do that, they would have to either lower the boarding or take the boarding pass time a little bit earlier, like to noon or something like that. But out of Disney World, I can see it staying at least until the start of the 50th anniversary, just because it's going to be very chaotic here with people wanting to experience everything with all the beacons of magic appearing in all 4 parks. So for that, I foresee it staying at least a little while longer. Disneyland, I can see going away because it's so much easier to go back and forth. But when it comes to the second part of the question, park reservation, I hope it stays. I like it because it lets me know what parks are available, what parks are not, and especially when it comes to things like boarding groups, it makes control a little bit easier. So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, the park hopping definitely going to stay a little bit longer, in my opinion. If it ends, hey, that's awesome. I can just go between now more parks than ever before. But if not, I'm okay with waiting until 2 o'clock. There's sometimes where like you haven't done everything you want to do. It's very hard to do the things you want in one park and then hop to another.
Very good. Thank you, my friend. We now move on over to Katrina Manzone here to discuss what she thinks when it comes to the park hopping and the park pass reservation. Certainly, Katrina, this is something that I know some people feel very passionately about with the park pass reservation in particular, as capacity continues to go up. The question continues to be, well, why are they forcing me to make a reservation for it? I don't understand. If you're letting in more people, shouldn't you just let in more people? Why do I have to book it out if the crowds are going to be there regardless? So what do you think? Is there a timeline here? And do you think that the park hopper time frame as it exists currently is something that can be done away with?
So, I mean, didn't JPEG say that he wanted to keep this whole reservation system for like the time being until like the end of the year? So
yeah, he has acknowledged that.
Yeah, so we know that it's going to be here until the end of the year. I would say honestly, probably until probably next year, probably not for a very long time. They're going to get rid of it because
they like this control.
It helps them too, because it helps them gauge what parks are busy, and so they can, get cast members out where they need to be for scheduling and stuff. So I mean, if they know Magic Kingdom's going to be a really busy day, they know like, oh, we're sold out. Okay, we need to get all hands on deck on this park, and then try to move people around. So at least they know and can gauge. So I know for that section, it's going to be for a very long time, especially for Disneyland too. It's kind of nice to know like what park is going to be busy and not busy and whatnot. And so I can see that being around for a long time. And like for the park hopping, I wish it was kind of maybe a little bit earlier for Disneyland, like noonish or something. And especially from even like Disney World. Like Disney World, I would hope that it would be like, 1 o'clock or something, because sometimes you might just like go to the park for like a little bit, but then you might want to hop to do something else immediately. And like 2 o'clock's like seems like really late to me. But I feel like it's probably going to be not until like probably like next year is when they're going to maybe think about changing it up, because with the 50th coming around, it's gonna be busy. Yeah, so everybody is gonna like try to get to another location and whatnot, and probably Magic Kingdom and Epcot are probably the two that everybody wants to go to watch the nighttime shows. So
the places to be. Yeah,
those are the two places to be. So I mean, they have to know their park reservation system. So it's not going away anytime soon. The dates, I don't know, maybe like 2 years or something. It's hard to say. It's hard to say based off of it. I would say they want to try to keep it around for like the winter crowd, because it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, the 50th, and it's going to be around for 18 months. So like next year's summer is going to be crazy chaotic too, and all that stuff. So they're probably going to keep it around until like the end of next year.
I often wonder too if they might consider doing park reservations seasonally. Certainly trying to communicate that to a mass population would be difficult.
Or they're going to make another tier ticket where it's like, oh, you can park hop at any time now. And then the other ones that are park hopping will do 2 o'clock. And then there will be another ticket for a single park. And then JPEG's like, yes.
Don't give them ideas.
I know, right?
My God. What do you think, Tyler?
I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I think probably even longer than 2 years, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be around for quite a while, because they, just like Wade said, they love that control. That's the whole entire reason Magic Bands exist and why they gave them out for free, because they want to see exactly what you're doing, where you're spending your money, and what attractions you want to do. And don't forget either, like, especially in Disney World, when you were making fast passes for these attractions, it was basically already like doing a theme park reservation. I mean, it really was kind of the same type of thing. So it's not really like anything has changed, except for you just don't get fast passes anymore. This is going to be around for quite some time. I could see them lowering the park hopper time, you know, to noon or something like you suggested. But I think they are so enthralled with getting all that data, like a multi-billion-dollar company is. I mean, that's how they make billions and billions of dollars, right? They know their audience and they study their audience, and they have many analysts that look over these things. And they are going to continue to watch your vacation very carefully, and
like
this helps them do
experiment.
it. No, you really are a science experiment. You are a little guinea pig when you go to these theme parks, and that makes it sound maybe not so magical, but trust me, they want your money more than they want to provide. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say they want to. I'm not going to go that far, but they're a billion-dollar company, and they're public, and they need to make lots of money, so they're going to keep on watching you as closely as they can. Yeah, I don't see it going away anytime soon.
Yeah, with the introduction of Magic Bands so many years back, I knew immediately when I heard that the RFID technology was being incorporated into everybody's theme park experience. I thought, okay, here comes Disney Big Brother. They're going to be watching where everybody's going, what they're doing, how they're doing it, how long they're spending in certain places, also that they can manipulate the experience to try and get the most bang for their buck out of everything. So you're certainly right. When it comes to Disney, they're a billion-dollar corporation. They're looking to make money, but they won't do it at the expense of everybody's enjoyment, because eventually the market reacts. Eventually, people will start to back off and say, no, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's why they try and do fun things like Magic Band. They're like, look at this fun thing that starts, and you get it like a month before your vacation. And it's, and you get this nice little box. This box has Elastigirl in it, and you're like, ooh, my vacation has started. So they make it fun for you, and it was really fun. Magic Bands were really fun to begin with. And
the colors,
I get that like park reservations don't sound as fun, but they really are a similar system if you think about it. So
it's true. Before you just didn't have a time limit, until like 2:00 you have to stay. But before you have finished your fast passes, then you can go.
What do you think, Gared?
I know how Tyler was saying how getting a fast pass reservation or getting a park pass, it is exciting for myself when it says like, oh, there's no reservation. I just click around. I'm like, oh, I got Hollywood Studios out of nowhere. It gets me really excited, because when you have everything in advance, you have something to look forward to versus, just like, oh, I'm going to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Like, it's there. There's no other option. You can literally go in, but if you're like, I'm going to Disneyland on this day, it's a party, I'm ready to go. It lets out the inner child where you're like looking forward to that shiny new toy, which is experiencing Disney World or Disneyland. So I like reservations personally. It helps control the chaos in a magical way.
Absolutely.
Magic.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, sir. And can we just acknowledge the fact that it looks like Frozen Ever After has closed the gates? I thought they were supposed to open up the gates a long time ago. What happened?
Yeah.
Tell the guards.
I'm not sure what happened. It could be, Tropical Storm Elsa. I'm getting confused with this Elsa. I don't know. But, it closed down about 20 minutes ago. No real explanation. Everyone cleared out. So I'm going to pitch a tent. I'm waiting. I'm going on there. I'm seeing Marshmallow and the Snow Geese.
Conceal, don't feel. I got him with that one.
Well, we thank you, buddy, for being out there. We thank you, buddy, for being out there in the thick of things as Hurricane Elsa sets to make way for Florida. It's that time of the year apparently, and she's full of rage, and you just don't want anything bad to happen. So, you protect yourself. Good luck. There he goes. All right, my friends, you let us know in the comment section down below. What do you think when it comes to revoking the Park Pass reservation system, when it comes to shutting down the time frames, when it comes to park hopping? Do you imagine that there is going to be some sort of fading away process here anytime soon in 2021? Let us know in the comment section. As always, we look forward to hearing your perspective. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about brings this July the 3rd edition of Kingdom Report Live to a close. Before we get out of here, I do want to make one more mention. If you are interested in winning yourself a Kingdom Report mug, all you got to do is leave the comment underneath this very video. The comment, of course, being happily ever after. That's right, happily ever after. Leave that in the comment section just beneath this video as soon as the live video posts, and you will be entered to potentially win yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug. We will reach out to you by Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time if you are the winner, and follow up with you for more information. Well, we certainly hope you have a great Independence Day. Happy 4th of July to all of you. And remember, the legacy of Walt Disney, it lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next week for another edition of Kingdom Report Live at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you next Saturday.